The two parts of an injury case after a car accident are the law of the case and the story of the case. So what do I mean by the law of the case and the story of the case? Well, the law of the case is sometimes called the prima facie case or the legal case. This is the stuff that we have to be able to prove in court or the judge will throw our case out of court. In other words, if you can't prove the law of the case, your case will be thrown out by the judge. It'll be dismissed because if you can't prove the law of the case, you'll never get to trial. You'll never get to tell your story to a judge or jury. You just won't get there. The law requires you to be able to prove certain things for you even to have the right to go to trial, and a lot of people don't even know that. The second part is the story of the case, and we'll talk more about that when that section comes up. So let's dig into the law of the case, okay? There are three parts to the law of the case. First is liability. Second is damages, and third is causation. Now that's what lawyers call this stuff, but that's not really helpful to us, right? So liability means, did the other guy do something wrong? Damages means, what harm was caused? And causation means, did what the other guy do wrong cause the harm, right? And we're going to talk about each one of these in turn. The next topic in the law of the case is damages. In other words, what harm was caused in the crash? Now, what can you claim for damages under Illinois law? Well, you can claim current and future medical bills. Pretty much everybody knows that, right? Current and future wage loss or time lost from work. I think most people know that. People know that you can ask for pain and suffering, but you can also ask for disability or loss of a normal life. That is the loss of your enjoyment of things you like to do. For example, let's say you like to go bowling and you can't go bowling anymore because you hurt your back in a car crash. Even if it's temporary, the law says you get to claim that, and it's damages that the state of Illinois allows you to ask for in a car crash trial. It's something you can make a claim for. You can also make a claim for past and future disfigurement for things like, if you lose a finger, if you lose an arm, even if you have scarring. All of that stuff is disfigurement. It's affecting the way you look, and you're allowed to make a claim for it. You can also make a claim for emotional damages like fear, worry about the future, stuff like that, and then also psychological damages, right? I will say a little bit of a warning about psychological damages. You have to be very careful about claiming psychological damages because arguably it opens up your entire past emotional and psychiatric treatment history, if any, to discovery. In other words, the insurance company is going to be able to subpoena all of your mental health records, dig through them, and drag you through the mud at trial. So I'm always very clear with my clients that you're opening up a can of worms if you make a psych claim if you've got any sort of past history, right? And then obviously property damage. If somebody runs into you and destroys your car, damages your car, you're allowed to make claims for that, or any other things in your car that get damaged, right? So in theory, if you have a car full of groceries, your car gets towed, the groceries are spoiled. If you have your receipt, we can make a claim for stuff like that too, right? So how do we prove damages? Really, what it comes down to with damages is three things, right? I only have two depicted here because the third one I couldn't find a photo for. I don't think there is a photo for it. But all of our proof of damages begin with the medical records. We have to order and make sure we have all of your medical records. We summarize them, and we're looking for the strengths of the case and problems with the case that appear in the medical records. Now, I've been doing this for more than 20 years, and I will tell you that I have not handled a single case with perfect medical records before. It is very common for there to be problems in the medical records, things that aren't documented that are supposed to be, things that you allegedly told a medical provider, which we both know you didn't, things like that, or just dumb things that they put in the medical records that don't belong in there. You're allowed under federal and state law to amend your medical records if you find errors in them. And there's other things we can do to fix problems like that. But obviously, having a complete list of the medical providers and getting the medical records, super important. Documenting your injuries photographically or video, with video, super important. When it comes to obvious injuries, like obviously if you have whiplash or a neck or a back strain, I guess we could take a photo with you with a neck collar on or a back brace, but it's nothing like a cut or a scar or a surgical wound or something like that. Photos like that, it really, it's like, what do they say? A picture's worth 1,000 words. Really true when it comes to this sort of stuff. Really, really important. Now, the third thing that's not depicted on the damages slide here is damages witnesses. Now, these are called different things. Some people call them before and after witnesses. Some call them damages witnesses. I just call them like lay damages witnesses, I guess. But what these witnesses do, like whenever anybody thinks about a witness in a car crash, they always think, oh, somebody who saw the car crash. Well, that's not always the witness we're talking about, right? So if we're talking about a damages witness, we're talking about a person who knew you before the crash, knew you after the crash while you were recuperating, and they know you now. And so they can come to court and about 10 minutes or 15 minutes on the witness stand say what you were like before the crash, what they observed about you during your recovery, and how you are now. And believe it or not, that sort of testimony from a person who comes into court is super powerful. A judge and a jury really pay a lot of attention to that sort of testimony. I mean, any injured person can get up on the witness stand and explain, I can't go bowling anymore. For 3 months while I was recovering, I stayed in bed. Well, really, I think what it comes down to is that jurors expect injured people to perhaps exaggerate because they're trying to win their case. Like, jurors think that about injured people, even when it's not true. But when another person comes into court and testifies about the things a person can or can't do after something like this, after a car crash, they don't have a dog in the fight, right? So some dude on your bowling team that you're barely friends with, or your dry cleaner, or the kid that mows the lawn for everybody in the neighborhood, people like this, somebody from church, your coworker. These are the sorts of witnesses who can come in, and what they say about what they've noticed about you before and after the accident, super credible and super helpful in proving damages. That's something that a lot of lawyers don't even realize, how useful that sort of testimony is. So, thanks for watching. If you or anyone you know has been hurt in an accident and needs a lawyer, or even just has questions, give me a call anytime, day or night, at 312-500-4500. You can call me anytime, day or night, and the consultation is free. That's 312-500-4500. Or if you're not ready to talk to a lawyer, I made 2 great tools that really help people out that you can use for free on my website. The links are in the description. The first one is called the Case Cash Calculator, and it tells you what your case might be worth. The other is called the Good Case Calculator, and it tells you whether you might have a good case or you might have a case with some challenges. The best part is that they're 100% free to use on my website, and it only takes you 20 seconds flat to answer 7 multiple choice questions right off the top of your head. And then you get custom information about your particular injury situation fast and for free. So check them out, links in the description. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to my channel. I release 2 new videos every week, and this way you'll get notice of them. And if you have a question you'd like answered in a video, just leave a comment with your question in the comments section. Finally, if you enjoy my videos or if I've helped you in any way, I hope you'll consider doing me a favor. Injury law is a very competitive field, and I like having a small independent firm so I can help people who need it. People really rely on Google reviews when deciding who to hire, so I hope you'll consider leaving me a 5-star review on Google. It only takes a few seconds, but it's a favor to me that I would really appreciate. The link is in the description. You just go to that link, click 5 stars, say a kind word, hit submit, and you're done. Once again, I hope you and your family are well, and if anyone you know needs an injury lawyer or has questions, please send them my way by calling 312-500-4500. Thanks again for watching. Take care.